he says something that when I hear that video, it's a self-aware leader. Maxwell talks about a great leader being self-aware. It's no longer about me, right? It's no longer about us. Jesus himself said that, you know, I came to this world to serve, not to be served. And the ultimate form of leadership, I believe, was Jesus.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, man. So you guys were saying, so born in New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Born here in Cali,
Yep,
but parents
Cali.
from
Mexico City.
and then same thing.
Yep, I'm born here
Right.
too.
Dang. All right. So I know we were talking international business. You guys were like, we were getting ready for the show, and you guys were talking a little bit about international stuff. Let's start off there, man, because really the point with this, with the podcast, is really to take people beyond the meeting rooms and the Zooms.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So, what is it like doing international business? I mean, now, you got BYLD, EXP, and the real estate business. I mean, I know you just went to Mexico.
Mhm.
You got the team in Mexico now. You guys got the team in
Yep.
several parts of the world. Spain, I think you were saying.
Yeah,
Italy,
we're expanding now. You said, what is it like? It's faster. I'll tell you that much.
Why is that?
It's faster. I don't know what it is exactly, but this is my opinion. I think people don't have as many options in other parts of the world, right?
Mhm.
So when they get a good opportunity, they run with it and they don't stop. Now, on the other side of that, it's also, I think that for them, it's easier. And when they have to make less money to do something full time, right? So here, I do think, this is my personal opinion, I do think people are a little bit lazier, or a lot lazier, right? If, there's traffic, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I have to be in a 60 freeway for an hour. Yeah, I can't make it. Right. But outside, they'll work all day long. But it is easier for them because it's less money. They can go full time.
Mhm.
Here, somebody has to make, $4,000 or $5,000. So it's a lot harder to get to that point where they can do it full time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I agree, brother. Like the international component for me really took off actually when I was in government work, because I had traveled to like 50 plus countries doing government work. And to your point, I agree with you. And then one thing that I noticed when I got into real estate and I was looking for an international platform was, like, to your point, they do work harder. But what I realized was, I think one of the key components why that is because in the US, we've kind of moved out of the industrial age, right? Like the 50s, 60s, where there was factories and people were really hustling like at that level. Like now we're in the United States, we're at an age now where tech, AI, all that kind of stuff is really, like taking off. But in other countries, they're still very industrial, right? China, some of the other, like, quote unquote third worlds, like, I don't even like to use that term, but realistically, they're hustling for the dollar. And so it makes a lot of sense for American-based companies to land there at times and create partnerships. I don't know about doing business primarily there.
Right.
I don't know how good that is for U.S. economy. I could care less.
Yeah.
But for us to like plant soil, opportunity there, enrich what they have going on, and see how we can like incubate that into our business structure here in the United States, it can be powerful.
No, I love that because, man, I was just telling you guys, I grew up with immigrant parents. My dad was from Mexico City, my mom's from Cuba, and so like being a first generation Cuban Mexican American here in the States, it's like I grew up with the immigrant work ethic, right? And building businesses, relationships, I mean, whatever it is, I think there's just something different when it comes to the work ethic, right? And so I think that international, people that are from other countries, that I don't know what it is, man, their work ethic. Now, this is not across the board, right? But people's work ethic when they come from other countries is just, it's something different. The way that they do things.
When you have to do something, then you have to do it, right? So I feel like sometimes they get here and they're like, I have to do it. There's no choice, right? There's no turning back.
Yeah.
So
I admire like my mom, my stepdad, he's came from Cuba maybe like less than 7 years ago. And the guy's in his mid 50s, doesn't have the best health, but I mean, the guy works and he puts in his like just the work ethic. To see him work, you guys ever know somebody or you knew somebody that you just see them and they just work. They're just like workhorses,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're dedicated. I love that. I think that's so important,
It is.
especially when you're building, you're scaling teams and stuff like that. So, man, anyways, we keep going on that for a minute, but
I love that.
I just want to welcome everybody to the
Let's
the
go.
the Wealth Group podcast.
Fired up.
Welcome officially to the show. This is season 1, and we got some incredible leaders and just mentors here, man. We're so excited. This is a podcast where we want to take business beyond the Zooms and the meeting rooms. So the point of the Wealth Group podcast is really to allow for people to kind of step into an environment where maybe they don't get the conversations. They're not around this type of culture. And so what we want to do with this show is bring on guests and just give them access to high-level leadership, conversation, wealth building, financial literacy. What are different ways to kind of break through? And I know we were just talking about international work ethic, right? But we all come from somewhere, right? I just want to introduce our guest real quick. To my left, we got the one and only Mr. Joseph Trujillo. Man, I'm excited to dive into your story. Wences Navarro, Mathew Acosta with BYLD, both of you guys, CEO of BYLD, and I like to say the COO of BYLD, right? What I call it's like the nickname, right? But man, gentlemen, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
I know you guys all run super busy schedules, and man, you guys were just running around all day. We're all running around doing stuff, but just so that people kind of get to know us a little bit, Joseph, let's lead off with you, man. Tell us a little bit about you and your background, upbringing, and I know you have some time in the service as well. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for your service.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm an LA kid. I grew up in LA, born in New Mexico. What I love about my New Mexico heritage, though, is I was born on a Native American. Back then, we called them Indians. On a Native American reservation and stuff like that. So, really cool. Northern part, pine tree living. Everybody thinks of New Mexico as like desert, but it's completely opposite, bro. So, streams, fishing, really, really cool. Really humble.
Dang.
And so, growing up in LA, I grew up in LA. I was a 80s, 90s kid. So, gang era, the whole family was in gangs. Grew up around that, but was able to break through those adversities in sports, athletics. My pop was an old Marine, so he was always kept me straight, So he was just like, hey, you better have a basketball in your hand. I'm going to slap you upside the head. But that was cool because I did Pop Warner football, high school athletics, carried that. That really created a lot of structure for me, a lot of structure, discipline. And then tried to go to college real quick, Cal State Long Beach thing.
Long Beach.
Failed epically, bro, first quarter. Yeah. And my pops, he grabbed me by the neck again. He said, you better do some shit. And so I think I got on the next hot bus to San Diego, United States Marine Corps. So did 4 years in the Marines, active, reserve, got out. And it's weird when you get out of the military, for like all the military people out there, there's not really good job placement. You were trying to figure it out. It's kind of a unique space. But I landed in a few like really God planned locations. Ended up in law enforcement. And so I worked 22 years after that in law enforcement, several different capacities, a couple, 3 different letter agencies. And I was forced retired out of that because I got into real estate.
Wow.
Yeah, got into real estate just about 7 years ago. Yeah. A lot of people think I've been in the game for so long, but I'm a brand new real estate kid. But did a lot in a little bit of time, and I attribute that to the people that I surrounded myself with, and just actively being in a place of learning, wanting to be a student, master my craft. But I say all that. That's all the work side. What I'm most proud of and most humbled by is I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother.
That's right.
I'm a son of Christ.
That's right.
And so when I lead with that, then can't nothing go wrong, brother.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's good, bro. I love that you have that military background too, bro. I think that's where you and I kind of I think that's why I've been always so kind of gravitated to your leadership, is because part of my upbringing was, I was raised by Marines, man. So
let's go. Hoorah.
Going to military school, 100%, man. I remember my father figure really being a Marine, and sometimes it's brutal, bro. I know the stories y'all got.
Yes,
it's
sir.
kind of crazy. But Wences, tell us a little bit about you, man. You
said
grew up in
3-letter
the hood
agents
too, or what?
Did anybody searching for a wire? I don't know what I can and can't say anymore, man. Okay, cool. I'm watching you, Joseph.
I know, bro.
No, I'm also
I'm
same,
clear.
same-
I got
same-
my clear my background, bro.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Street
same,
background.
Same thing. All right, cool. I grew up here in El Monte, so not too far from here. So I'm a local kid.
Shout out El Monte.
I actually spent the first 4 years of my life in Mexico. So
Really?
I was born here. Then my parents moved to Mexico, took me with them. Then we came back. I started kindergarten here, so around 4 or 5 years old. So first language was Spanish. I say I grew here, but in El Monte back then, this is like in the early 90s, my elementary schooling was in Spanish. So it was like Mexico, right? Yeah, like it was like primarily Mexican. So grew up here and did everything was normal, like, elementary, high school, had, a lot of fun, did the sports thing, the whole thing. They didn't really have any challenges up until my 19th birthday. And I was in school at UC Riverside, and I developed a condition called hyperhidrosis. And that was the first time that changed everything, right? So I was like, it was pretty normal. We weren't wealthy or anything. We grew up in El Monte, of course. But up until then, everything was normal. What I like to say, just normal childhood, right? But 19, so hyperhidrosis. So I used to sweat from like just nonstop. Like I wouldn't be able to be in this room.
Yeah.
And the first thing people think when they see that is what?
Nervous.
He's either lying or he's nervous, right? So my goal, when I have this written out, my goal was to be an attorney. I didn't even know what an attorney did back then, right? But my goal was to be an attorney. So that right there, I said, dude, there's no way. Like, how are you going to be in front of a judge? I thought attorneys were in front of judges all the time. You're a kid, right? You don't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what an attorney did, but I'm like, no, I can't do that. So imagine 19 in college. What are you trying to do when you're 19 in college?
Party.
Exactly. And what do you party for?
Girls.
Exactly. So that changed everything. Like up until then, I hadn't really encountered that kind of a challenge. And that changed everything because I had to reinvent myself. So I stopped going to school because I couldn't be in a college classroom. So from there, I mean, I can talk about it all day long. I have stories for days, but imagine not being able to go to the classroom. But that actually led to my very first like entrepreneurship venture. So now that I this is 20 years ago, right? So now looking back, I go, maybe it was like a blessing in disguise. Right? Still doesn't feel like it sometimes because there's still a lot of challenges that come with it. Yeah. But I'm like, maybe it was supposed to happen that way. And the one superpower that came out of it is that people for the last 20 years, they go, this guy looks normal, right? Like looks healthy, he looks good from the outside, but you never know what's going on the inside. That's right. So my superpower that came out of that challenge has been that when I meet somebody or when I talk to anybody, it doesn't matter, I always give them a chance because I know that there's something going on inside that nobody knows. You can't see it. Yeah. Right. So I think that's really, it changed me. It really did. Yeah. It's been challenging, right? Because there's certain things that I can't do that, it's normal people can do. Right. And I say normal, I just said that everybody has a challenge, but that most people, right. Would consider normal. So that's been, I think that's kind of like defined me for a long time. Yeah. And people go, this is my very first podcast appearance.
Is it really?
I've had I've had a lot of invites. But recently, a friend of mine said, you know what? You got to tell that story, bro. You got to tell that story because a lot of people know who you are, but they always go, why is this guy always in the background? Right? Like, why is he not, not on the stages? And it's because I tried it before, right? So I was like, let's go and be a little more facing, like, and it doesn't work because when you go out, then they go, oh, let me invite him over here. It's not like I could do it once, right? Yeah. You go and they're like, oh, wait, hey, invite him here. And I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Not that I don't want to, but this time I said, you know what? I think that the leadership, like the guys that are like your age, right? These are the guys that need good leadership. There's a lot of leadership out there, right? Don't get me wrong. So when you said this is a leadership podcast, I said, I think this is the first one because you guys are the ones that are going to be working with my son. My son's 11. So I said, if I'm not part of cooperating and developing new leadership and just kind of shaping their heart, really, right? There's a lot of leadership out there, but I think the ultimate level of leadership is to be able to influence somebody's heart. There's a lot of good leadership out there, but it's like manipulative. So I decided when you sent me the message, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it because I think we got to shape the new generation of leaders because they're the ones who are going to be working with my son, right? So
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you taking the time, bro. It's an honor. Truly is an honor. But yeah, 100%. I believe that. I remember hearing, I think it was a Marine that actually taught me this. It was, real leadership is having the ability to influence, right? But I love the point that you made, bro, because there are a lot of, and I'll say quote unquote leaders that it's not really leadership. It's very intentional manipulation, and they're really good at it, right? I learned a word recently that I had no idea what it was, and it was being a very condescending leader. right? And so we have to be very careful with that. But I love the fact that, you know, the simple principle of pouring into the next generation, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, being able to get mentorship and now in this modern day, I mean, part of what we'll talk about today too is just like the ability of literally having everything at your fingertips, right? And so whether that be technology, whether that be wisdom, I mean, I hear all the time, like, yeah, I went to YouTube University, right? So, but like, but it's changing. Times are changing. Times are different, right? And so part of this podcast is, having leadership, having a platform, having a voice. I believe that there's so many different styles of leadership and being able to influence people and stuff like that, whether it be in entrepreneurship, building a business, whatever it may be, relationship, love, faith, don't matter, physical, right? So one of the things that stood out too, though, is like the belief of having a belief system. I think you're having a major breakthrough, bro. Is like being able to be like, hey, you know what? No, like we're gonna break through this, right? And what you're doing is you're even showing people that may be having those thoughts like, nah, if Wences could do it, I can do it too. And that's part of this podcast as well, is to be able to show people like, you don't got to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. We all have, you know, things that we deal with, right? It just may look different. But yeah, man, thanks for sharing, bro.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Good.
Mr. Matt, Mathew Acosta.
Yeah, man, happy to be here, you know. And same, this is actually my first podcast as well, too. So we're in it together, you know. Man, but where do I start? You know, my background, I grew up, you know, in San Bernardino County. And then for the first 15 years of my life, second half was LA County. Yeah. And, but I've been an entrepreneur at heart since, man, I can't even remember when. I started off just cutting grass in my neighborhood because I wanted to be able to make some money at the age of 13. And I was like, well, I can't go get a job. So what am I going to go do to try to, you know, make some money, but also wanted to hang out with my friends too. Right. And that's how the transition of barbering kind of came into play, because from barbering, now from then, I took that on to being able to hang out with my friends, make money at the age of 13 years old. So from there, that actually grew into something a lot bigger that I didn't even imagine until I actually started living it out. And, you know, when I graduated high school, I was able to land a job in a barbershop. And at that time, I was still hustling. I was going to ELAC. I was going to barber school. I was working a retail job and working in a barbershop all in the same time. So 4 different things. I was, you know what? I started doing some calculations. I was like, man, I'm getting paid like $7 an hour working retail at that time. And I was like, no, haircuts are $10 at that time. So, so I was, you know what? Let me cut out the taxes. Let me put that tax money back in my pocket. You know?
Be careful, bro. Be careful.
Say that one more time.
We're the wire over here, you know?
We're regulating.
So just don't send this to IRS, you know? But yeah, so, you know, barber of 15 years, own my barbershop. Actually, today is my 9-year anniversary of the barbershop.
Dude, congratulations.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome. Congrats.
So you started when you were like 9 then?
So we could say 9 year. But man, one of my goals for myself was to be able to start my own business at the age of 21. And that's what the barbershop was for me. I got the keys in hand 3 months before I turned 22. So at 21, I hit my goal with 3 months left to spare before I turned 22. So it was like, you know, my dream that came true. And it was one of those where it's like, that was what I had planned as I started barbering. I was like, you know what? Barbering is great, but I can use this as a platform.
That's right.
To get me to the next step in life, right? Yeah. I know for myself, I can't just cut hair for the rest of my life. So I instill that into my barbers there at the shop as well too. I tell them, look, use barbering as a platform. Here you can make money, cash on hand real quick through a transaction, take you 30 minutes, an hour. But what you do with that money, now invest that somewhere to be able to free yourself from the chair. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing now. And that's what I've, you know, made a focus or a goal on to do, especially when I had my kids. Yeah. Because I can't be behind the chair cutting hair for the rest of my life. I want to be able to spend that extra time with my kids. Yeah. And, you know, this is where, you know, God blessed me with Wences in my life. With BYLD, that created that avenue that I've been looking for, where it's not just making a sale or, you know, it's aligned with what I want to do in my life, which is helping people.
Yeah.
Being able to help people, add value to others. Like I was mentioning, leadership. This is, like a leadership podcast. So my main thing was I wanted to be able to lead not only from the front, but hand in hand, side by side, and show the way through my actions as well, too.
Yeah.
So if I could be able to use the barbershop one as a platform, 15 years of clientele, God's blessed me with, a lot of clientele through the years, multiple different barbers through the shop as well, too, and being able to lead that direction there.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. Thanks for sharing, bro. And even your story too. Like I feel like I could almost resemble with a little bit of each and every single one of you guys, because, when I first started off my entrepreneurial endeavor and I started my first business, I call my practice company, right? It was a fitness business, right? I was a personal trainer for about 6.5 years.
That's right.
And very much like barbering, bro. I have a lot of barber friends. And I tell them the same thing. It's like, hey, we're sitting down with somebody one-on-one for an hour. We better come up with something to talk about.
I can tell because
right?
you got a nice cut.
Yeah. It's my shout out to my buddy, shout out to Mark, my barber. But being able to, if you build that relationship, whether it be in barbering or personal training or showing a home or whatever the case may be, right? You get the opportunity to build that relationship, but the more and more time you spend with somebody, you kind of start to see what their habits are like, right? You start to see their work ethic, especially like one of the things I love to do with new business partners or potential people that I'm leading or wanting to mentor, right? I take them for a workout, right? Or we take them to the golf course.
I used to do the same thing.
Yeah, I take somebody, like when I shout out to my boy Manny, right? First, before I even decided to partner with him, I took him to the gym, right? And even new agents or new reps that I bring on, I'll be like, hey, let's go get a workout in. Because I want to see what the work ethic is like.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the same thing. The more time you spend with somebody, the more you really start to get to pick their habits, right? And I love too that, finding mentorship, bro. Finding mentorship is huge, right? I'd like to kind of open up a little bit on like the power of mentorship, right? Some stories that you guys have had. Kind of give your business background a little bit, or even in the military or barbering or building business, whatever the case may be, right? But I think just the power of mentorship is so incredibly important, right? And what do you look for? What is something good to look for in a mentorship? Or what is something good to look for in a mentor?
That's good. I'll fire away, bro. I'd like to talk specifically about like men that have mentored me in my life.
Yeah.
If that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm in a place right now where like I'm paying like extra attention to men in the household and how we can best mentor our children and our families, creating order, because that's something that I lacked for a large part of my adulthood. It was just not having real strong order in different components, including business at a particular time. But like men mentorship for me was interesting because I had like my father, although he was a Marine, was a very quiet mentor, right? He was a very like strong figure, but quiet, and a disciplinarian that would like do on the spot corrections, which was an interesting way to grow up. And then I had the coaches in sports that were very vocal and they were like very pointed, and they would give you more cued correction in mentorship. So growing up in that environment for the first 17 years really framed the kind of mentor that I would become. And then Marine Corps and all these other facets of life. So what it's kind of spun into for me is like picking the best of all these amazing men that have been in my life and being able to put that into a package where I feel, most authentic and comfortable and able to lead, either my children or the agents that have partnered with me and whatever that looks like in business. And so I find myself in a space where I'm a tactical leader. I'm very tactical now. So I don't, and what I mean by that is like, I'm very like pointed, like, okay, like tactically, how do we get from into the end zone? How do we get from A to Z tactically, instead of me just giving you a direction and having an expectation that you're going to complete that fluidly? Seldomly does that work, seldomly. So I've learned that if I can apply tactics, be that field general, kind of like what Mathew was talking about, being a leader in a space where you're leading from the front, like people use that term very loosely. Yeah. But I've seen fantastic examples of epic failures in that space, and then classic examples on how a general in the field really can be deployed and really carry out the mission of whatever that business structure is or whatever that family unit looks like. But it requires the kind of leadership that is not just respected, but that's carried out with just humility and a lot of retrospect and being able to conform to places like, hey, yeah, I'm a Marine general, for example, right? But I'm also just a common Marine, you know, ensuring that anything that is uncommon is common to whether you're the king or you're the servant, you know? And I think we see that, like, I don't know, we've all been around environments where, like, do you respect the cooker just as much as you respect the owner of that business, right? And so that's the kind of space, and that's where I've kind of thrived in leadership. And the times that I have thrived is being so tactical about it and really being fluid with it instead of just barking orders and expecting people to jump at will.
Yeah, I've always seen, like, I've always kind of been very observant when it comes to, like, mentors or people that I've seen in leadership positions, stuff like that. And I think one of the things that I love to see is, like, pretty much like how you're saying, like, how do they treat the janitor, and then how do they treat their managers, how do they treat the people in between, how do they treat their other chairman, right, in the world of business, right, or even other leaders of, like, how do they treat their wives, right, how do they treat their kids, who are they off camera, who are they on camera, who are they on stage, who are they off stage, right? And so being able to kind of not judge them, but kind of really see what their character looks like, I think is a big thing. I think that's really good.
Well, some mentors are going to teach you what not to do. That's the truth, right? Sometimes you're learning how not to do it and what not to do.
Right.
So
what are some of the things you kind of see? Because obviously, I mean, talk a little bit about BYLD, what you're doing with BYLD as well. But I mean, you're building up other leaders as well.
That's the idea. So we always say we're building the people, and the people build the business, right? So we build the people build the business. So I got introduced to network marketing when I mentioned to you guys that I had to reinvent myself when the whole attorney thing wasn't going to work out. I literally made a list of things that I could do. So I'm like, teacher, nope, got to be in front of kids. You know, doctor, nope, can't do that. So I made a list, right? And then when I got down to it, I'm like, dude, I have no idea. What am I going to do? Like, so I did there was like a 2-year period from 19 to 21 where I had no clue what I was going to do. And we're not going to talk about that 2-year period, because when you don't know, when you're lost, you start doing things that you're not supposed to, right? So we're going to leave that 2-year gap out of this, right? But after that, at 21,
we'll have to do another episode on that one.
Without the wire.
At 21, at 21, I had a surgery. So the reason why I'm able to be here right now is because I don't sweat from the neck up. I don't sweat anymore. I could go run 5 miles, right, and not sweat. Dang. So now, but it transferred over to the, torso. So anyways, the challenge is still there, but the right people, you're talking about mentors, right? The right people have always shown up for me along the way without me even looking for it, to be honest, because I always stayed away from people, right? I've had a lot of mentors from afar. And sometimes that works out good because I became a reader, right? So for a long time, when I wasn't going to class, I wasn't wasting my time. I was actually picking up the books and reading them. And then I got introduced to direct sales, network marketing. And that's all about personal development. That's good. Or it used to be. It used to be about personal development, right? You guys have heard of the Amway guys and all those. It used to be primarily personal development, and then there's a product that you just happen to sell, right? So I got introduced to personal development, and the Zig Ziglars, the Jim Rohns, the Tony Robbins. So I read all the books, and sometimes those are the best mentors, right? Because you don't know too much about them, right? So for those that are out there looking for a mentor, sometimes you just go to the library, right? Or you don't even have to go to the library anymore. Go on YouTube, Amazon, or Audible. I'm a big fan of Audible, right? But, aside from those mentors from afar, I've had some, people that have shown up for me. And it's weird because they show up at the right time, right? Like at the right time, almost every time. So
You mentioned what not to look, or mentors that have told you of what not to do. If you could kind of share with everybody, like, what are things that, if you're either mentoring someone or you're being mentored, what are maybe some leadership qualities to maybe stay away from?
So I think here's the key. Just look at them, and if it's not somebody that you would trade places with, then why, there's nothing to learn there, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it might not be, the right person for you. Not to say that it's not the right mentor for someone else.
Right.
But if you look at someone and you wouldn't trade places with them, it doesn't make sense to do what they did, right?
Yeah, my mom would always tell me, very similar. Yeah, my mom would always tell. I remember her growing up, probably giving me the best piece of advice that till this day I still do. I still take to heart. Is my mom would always tell me, "Mijo, don't switch positions with someone that you wouldn't want to be walking in their shoes." Right? I think congruency is something that I've tried to especially now as a husband, as a dad, as a man of faith, like going through a whole transformation, which is a whole different conversation, right? But I would always look at people and be like, you're not even doing what you're saying you're doing, right? So being able to walk in congruency with what you believe in and what you talk about, right? And I think I learned that too, just being in the fitness space, right? I couldn't be a fat trainer. Like I needed to be, if I was going to be a trainer, I was going to be working out or telling people you got to eat this way, you got to do that. It's like, no, I gotta walk the talk. And when I was when I had my personal training business, I had a staff of about 15 trainers, right? And half of those trainers were bodybuilders. They would go through a peak week. Have any of you guys gone through we went to boot camp, right? But that's probably a whole lot worse than 3 months of bodybuilding prep. Yeah. But in bodybuilding prep, you get to that those last 6 weeks, you're on 0 carbs. You're on no carb, no energy. And the reason I decided to do that bodybuilding competition, it wasn't because I wanted to look like 3% body fat on stage. The reason I put myself through that bodybuilding competition is because if I was asking my trainers to do something, to show up to train a class, but they were brain fogged, they had no energy, I was setting expectations for them that I didn't even know how they felt personally.
Right.
So I put myself through a 12-week, which actually ended up turning into 18 weeks. I dislocated my shoulder. That's a whole different story. But I put myself through that competition, and I put myself in their shoes, and dang, I was a month out, and I was just like, I started leading differently because I was in their shoes. I took what my mom had told me, right, into effect. So I think that being congruent as a leader,
for sure, when
you're setting expectations, when you're asking for things to be done, right, is something real big, for sure. Matt, what you got on that?
It's funny that we're on this topic, right? Because on the way over here, I put on YouTube. I'm looking at, all right, what am I gonna listen to on the ride over here, right?
Yeah.
And a video that's never popped up on my YouTube before. I never even searched the channel. Yeah. It was a church. I forgot the name of the church, but it was a pastor speaking about. It was at a men's conference.
Okay.
On raising men and being a father figure in the household to your kids and raising them right. And it was an hour-long listen. So I was like, you know what? I got an hour drive here. So you know what? I'm going to listen to it. And it was just aligned with everything, because what I'm focused on now is being able to align my life with other godly men.
That's right.
Because I'm stepping into a new stage in my life where I need to have godly men around me that are also father figures, that are also leaders, because I have 2 little ones that I need to lead as well too. Not just lead them in the worldly way, but lead them biblically, spiritually,
and a wife,
and a soon-to-be wife now. So it's being able to align myself and find leaders like that and mentors as well too. And Wences is a big mentor for me.
Yeah.
And we just met about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's made a big impact. Now, aligned with you guys now. So, you guys are being a big impact on me, because I'm watching what you guys are doing as well too. And we're all being able to build together,
That's right. A little shameless plug for Bill.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I would love to just add something on top, man. Because you guys are touching on the exact same thing. I give this class about building new leaders, right? Because that's how we duplicate ourselves and create wealth and create you have to create duplication in your business, because we all understand nobody cares about Joseph Trujillo. Nobody's going to be a Joseph Trujillo, but if I can create other leaders, then I'm going to create multiplication factor, effect, growth, and wealth, and all that other great stuff. But the way that and here's a couple nuggets that I'll share, right? Please. So the way that we can best do that, either in business or in life with our children, is by equipping them properly, right? Equipping them properly. And here's a couple things that I learned about equipping. So first, we got to do what you talked about is you got to do it yourself. Right? You talked about it, Wences. You got to do it yourself. That's how you're a great leader. You do it yourself. You've been there, done that, because that's what people love and follow. The second thing you got to do is you have to show somebody by doing it with them.
That's so good.
You have to show them by doing it with them, right? In the gym,
that's so good.
You show them out.
Yep.
The next thing you got to do is you got to allow them to do it, but you shadow them and ensure that you're seeing through a leader scope that they're doing it the right way, right? After that is they do it by themselves, right? They do it by themselves because you've showed them, you've been there, you've shadowed them. Now, most people stop there. A true leader does the next level thing. He shows them how to do it and show somebody else how to do it behind them. So they also create duplication and legacy in their business or in their family. So when you go through those 5 evolutions, you've properly equipped somebody for success.
Wow,
that's a gem.
Yeah,
that's a gem. I think that. Yeah, I mean, that's. What do you say after that? What do you say after? I mean, no, it's true though. But like, and even in business, right, where this is even wealth building, right? The simple factors of like we want to build and create generational wealth, right? I think I forgot where I saw it. It was like on a meme or something, or I saw it on a Instagram post or something like that. But there's a statistic going to that point, and this is where we drop the ball as a race or as people of creating generational wealth. It's like my grandpa started by walking to work, or my great grandpa started by walking to work. My grandpa rode a bike. My dad drove a Honda. I drove the Lamborghini. My kids went back to the Honda. And then by the 2 or 3 generations after that, it's like they're completely broke.
Right.
And the reason why that is because we're not as like I believe that it to the women too, but like at us as men, it's up to us to be the leaders of our household, the leaders of our business, but to also instill those values, how to create other leaders. Like I got my son, right, Ezra. I'm teaching him what it's like to steward his body. We're going to the track, we're running together. We're instilling those simple principles at a young age, right? He sees mommy and daddy doing it, but now he needs to start doing it. And that next step is, hey, maybe you start taking your friends out with you and doing it, building the community. Yep. And then that translates to other areas of your life, whether that be building a business, building wealth, scaling and building up other leaders, right? But it starts with that simple same principle. I think that was really good, bro. I love that.
Yeah. I thought he was going to go from the bike to the Honda to the Lamborghini to the Bugatti.
My bad, bro.
I'm like, wait, hold on. We went back to Honda?
To the boat, to the helicopter.
To the boat. Yeah, man. But listen, I part of our podcast too is like, I love this whole topic of leadership. I wanted to pull up a video, and I want to get some reaction, right? Because part of this show is, you know, debunking that, right? Debunking maybe leadership qualities and things of that nature. So let me pull up this video. There was a video that I had seen on leader. I'm curious just to kind of get your guys's when it comes to building leaders and building a company with bad leadership, right? I'm curious to kind of get your guys' reaction on this. So let's take a look at this.
Bad leadership doesn't just slow a company down, it destroys it from the inside out. A weak leader creates high turnover, low morale, and inconsistent execution. They make employees second guess themselves. They kill creativity. They turn decision-making into a slow, painful process. And the worst part? Most bad leaders don't even know they're the problem. If your business is struggling, look in the mirror. Are you building leaders under you? Are you empowering people to take ownership? Or are you micromanaging, controlling, and making it all about you? Great leadership isn't about doing more. It's about creating a culture where things get done at a high level without you.
I'm curious to get your guys' feedback on that, because he says something that when I hear that video, it's a self-aware leader. Maxwell talks about a great leader being self-aware. Right?
Yeah.
And we have to make sure, like, when we're building a company, I feel like, at least what I've learned, I'm curious to get your guys' feedback, because I mean, you guys got Wences, Joseph, you guys got agents all around the world, right? And you're building up other leaders. Matt and I are in the very beginning stages of that, right? Doing international business across the nation and stuff like that. And it no longer goes back to, it's no longer about me, right? It's no longer about us. Jesus himself said that, I came to this world to serve, not to be served. And the ultimate form of leadership, I believe, was Jesus, right? Jesus was the ultimate leader of leaders. And even him, he said, I came to serve, not to be served, right? So when we're building a company, I'm curious to kind of get some feedback, what my boy here was saying about bad leadership and how that relates to business as well, and how it could hinder us from ultimate growth.
I think he's absolutely right. Right now, I haven't had that experience because I think his opinion is more on like a traditional business, right? When you have like a more traditional style. I've always been in the direct sales where there's no positional leadership in my industry, right? People follow you because they want to, not because they have to. So it's a little bit different, but he's right on. I think awareness is the key. Right. And in my case, I think that I've excelled in attracting leaders because I don't really crave the camera. Right. I don't crave the spotlight. So I always say, have the right people in place. Right. Have the right people in place. So whatever their strengths are, I allow them to excel. And I've attracted leaders because I'm not the one that wants to be the guy. Right. So
that's good.
So I think he's right on, right? But it's different in my industry. It's like, if you're not a good leader, you're not going to cut it. You're going to get exposed right away. So, but I do agree with what he says, though. The awareness is key.
Yeah. Awareness is massive as a leader.
Yeah.
100%.
I like what stood out about that video was the ownership part for me. So I think there's like a two-pronged approach. So watching or looking at the business framework, like the business that you're in and what that framework looks like, right? So one thing that I noticed in my entrepreneur endeavors and before real estate, I've done CrossFit gyms, clothing brands. I did a few other side hustles while I was in the government. But taking a look, especially in international travel, you start to notice things that are different. And one thing that I noticed is like so many businesses, before those industries were disrupted, they're all top to bottom industries. There's somebody at the top that's just like pitching out everything. And then there's layers to those processes and those business structures. And it's the people at the bottom, the employees, right? That fuel that business structure. And that structure is not one that is standing the test of time any longer. The structures that I'm noticing are the ones that take that top to bottom framework and turn it upside down, and where you create partnerships and collaboration, and everybody at the top is in ownership of a common value, a common principle, a common business framework. And because what it does is the other frame, what it does is it creates unhealthy competition. Because if I teach another agent, right, all of the tricks of the trade, I'm essentially training my competition.
That's right.
Because that agent will want to be me, and essentially they're going to pick up and go somewhere else for more money, more whatever it is. But now if I'm in a different entity where we're in partnership together, right, we're all going to eat from the benefits of this company. Now I've created a brother or a sister in partnership. And so I can pour in, I can give the sauce. Because I know we're just all going up together as a common kind of entity.
Bro,
it's a game changer.
Yeah, game changer.
I love that. And then that kind of leads me to my next thing is the way business is now changing. Right? Is that upside down framework, right? Of being able to be like, hey, I could pour into you, but we're building this thing together. Right? It's like we're building partnerships. Right? So that kind of leads me to the next thing. Obviously, what we got going on with BYLD. Right, what we got going on with the real estate company, and just talk about a little bit about the idea of BYLD, and just the power of the partnerships, and a little bit of the services, and I guess how it kind of rolls out, and how we're now able to provide not only learn as you go mentorship, but personal development. Next, I'll tell you one of the things I love, and I'm excited for what's coming. I don't know if it's public yet, hopefully, right? But just like the innovation of like learning, how to trade, right? Building wealth, building business, building development. Talk a little bit about that, because when I saw BYLD, I saw power of partnership.
Right.
Mhm.
I saw expansion. I saw this is going to take over the game.
Yeah. So BYLD
Yeah.
is really a platform. We're a direct sales company, right? But it's really a platform where people are going to be able to come in and really excel at what they're good at. Because going back to like what I had to go through, I had to reinvent myself a few
Right.
times,
Yeah.
right? And I had to be real and say, okay, I want to do this, but I'm just not able to. So what can I do, right? So I think in business, a lot of times people, especially nowadays, they go on social media and they see like, I don't know, like a Grant Cardone or like a Ty Lopez, and they're like, oh, that's the way to do it.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, one, you don't have the personality to do that. I'm just being real, right? Awareness, again,
Mhm.
awareness.
Right.
So I experienced that. I'm like a compulsive course buyer. So for years, I spent like a lot of money buying courses, but I'm also aware, right? So if I start the course and I can't even finish it because my, what is it, ADHD kicks in, what are the chances that I'm going to do well in that business if I couldn't even finish the course,
Mm.
right? So I want to create a company where people can come and say, you know what, I believe in this. If you believe in something and you like it, you're more likely to succeed. Yes or no? You are, right?
Yes.
There are people, like I'll do whatever it takes. I'm a whatever it takes kind of guy, right? So I'm going to do it. But not everybody's like that. So if we give them different options, so with BYLD, you have different options. Some people are going to do it part-time. Some people are going to do it full-time. Some people are going to do it complementary to their existing business. And it's set up where there's different verticals. Like you said, they might just want to learn how to manage their money better, right? So they can come in, and for one membership, you don't have to do what I did and go spend a bunch of money buying courses.
Yeah.
One membership, you can come in and learn about different things.
Mm.
And I believe that it's easier to keep up than to catch up. So one of our areas of focus is right now, the world is changing, right? AI, right? Like this isn't even me. This is an AI right now. That's original. But things are changing fast, right? So blockchain, crypto. I mean, now trading is more available to the masses, right?
Right.
So all of these things, and the one skill that everybody could use is sales.
Yeah.
Sales is what, like learning sales is what set me free,
For sure.
right? And I think if I ask every single one of you guys, if you had to go start, somewhere, if we just picked you up and dropped you off somewhere, what would you do? It would be some kind of sales,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Just kind of gives you that peace of mind.
Yeah.
It takes you away from the 9 to 5 completely, because you don't no longer need it, right? I can go and sell something. I don't have to go get a job. So with BYLD, we teach sales, personal development. It's a big part of it, but there's also different verticals, different businesses that you can choose to focus on and just run with it. We're the tech, the support, and the training. That's what we are.
Mm.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Matt, talk a little bit about like you. Obviously, you have a background, kind of like myself, bro. I was a personal trainer for a long time. You're a barber for a long time, right? You had that influence. You had that platform. Talk a little bit about the value that you saw in it, and being able to, hey, I'm spending time with people. I'm going to events. I'm meeting a lot of people. Why? What kind of caught your attention as with the BYLD platform?
Yeah, it's so when we go back to like the barbering, right? 15 years of clientele, and my main thing is how can I provide value?
Yeah.
I seen that every business that I've worked at, every business where I was able to provide value was where I succeeded. So I knew that was what my calling was to be able to provide value to somebody, or to be able to, pick them up or meet them somewhere. And I know that after we met, I know I put them in a better position than when I met them before.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started dissecting that and realized that, I was like, somewhere where I provide value is where I'm going to thrive. And that's where BYLD comes in play. We have the direct sales where I just, spoke to my clients like, hey, you ever thought about solar, or you're opening up another business, ADT, healthier water. I bought one for myself, me and my kids and my family and my fiance, we all drink it, And so healthier water. So once again, value. What was the actual core of the business is me being able to provide value to somebody else.
Yeah.
And on top of that is networking and meeting more people. Me, I like to go out and go talk to people, go meet people, and doing events. And one thing I remember when I was probably about 12.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, I was like, hey, where can I go that I could wear a suit somewhere? I like to wear suits.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I told my dad that. I was like, hey, where can I go? But, you know, he was like, I don't know, you know, just go get a suit and go somewhere, you know. But I always like to wear suits.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to wear a suit somewhere where I could wear a suit, you know, where it's like, I'm not just showing up to the barbershop in a suit and it's like, why is this guy wearing a suit? There's some barbers that actually have suits and cut hair. I've seen it, but you know, so that was one thing. That's why, like, Joseph always, you know, compliment you on your suits. I'm like, hey, you got some nice suits, you know.
My boys fly all the time.
Yeah, I always got the suits.
I was gonna wear. I'm a black tee guy.
Bro,
I was gonna wear black
nice.
tee, but I'm like, no, Joseph's gonna be dressed up.
I
I
gotta
have to
dress
put
up,
on
man.
at least a coat. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that's the beautiful thing about it, though, right?
Yep.
Is that, like, even when you start a business, when you get into business, you're branding yourself, you're doing your thing, you're out at event. I think that's just the beautiful thing of leadership in general, right? We are a representation of who we are, right? And so even with building businesses, like, you have the ability. What I loved about Build is, aside from it being able to provide more opportunity to our clients, right? We're sitting down, we're doing financial plans, we're doing strategies. You know, we talk to homeowners all the time, right? Being able to provide that extra resource of, like, hey, we could incorporate, you know, maybe saving some money on a solar deal, on putting solar on your house, and save you a few $100s, and then redirect that money into something else, right? That's actually going to end up paying you more tax-free money down the line. There's opportunity. Or maybe it's an agent. Personally, for me, right, I'll be so honest with it. Maybe there's an opportunity where, hey, they're not cutting it on the insurance side. Maybe, you know, they're a networker, they're a builder, there's somebody that may benefit from some of the verticals that you guys got going on too. So I see so much opportunity, but I love what you said is being able to provide the value, right? When you provide the value, naturally, just God will just continue to provide for you, right? So
That's right.
I love that, bro. Joseph, tell us a little bit about, like, the opportunity you kind of see with the platform, and what kind of caught your attention a little bit.
Yeah, a bunch of things really stood out just because I'm paying attention, man. I'm like in a space in my life where I'm like, I'm just so interested, you know, like I think in my 30s, I was just running and gunning, you know. I'm 50, so I'm 50 years old.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, bro, I'm 50.
I don't believe that.
So, but
You ain't got it.
25.
We'll cut that out. I didn't
I'm
I'm
proud of it, bro. I'm on a game plan. I'm 120. I'm going 120 like biblical, bro. So
That's right.
I'm good. I got another 70. So
Hey, you know, they say if you live to 2030, you're gonna live to be 150.
They've said,
Yeah.
shameless plug, they've said that the person that's supposed to live 150 has already been born.
wow.
Just because modern medicine has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, you're going to need some living benefits.
That's right.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying,
Just saying.
yeah.
Reach out to your boy, right? All right, go
Yeah.
back to
I was
it.
on a call. Gary Brecka was saying the exact same thing,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
And a shout out to Gary. But what I seen in it was, again, just looking at it on, like, being like a servant leader, right? That term, on, like, how can, like, I hate to use the word average, but it's so true. You got to go there. The average person can create benefit, you know, and with so much waste, monetary waste that occurs in life and in business, like, wow, if this family could just save $300, man, that's groceries on the table.
Bet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if that family member can also create duplicated success, like we talked about, by setting a referral, by connecting with everything that every family needs with just home services, it is beyond a no-brainer if you can equip them to do that, right?
Yeah.
And when I looked at the model, I'm like, it's just the light bulb. I'm like,
in,
it goes. If I wasn't in real estate, it would have went. But since I'm in real estate and I've partnered with 1,500 agents, I'm like, this is a great benefit for them to add to their toolbox to give more value to buyers and sellers in the market. And then the last thing I seen was the opportunity cost, because there's a cost when you don't take the opportunity, right?
Say that again.
Yeah, there's a cost when you don't take the opportunity.
Yeah, talk about that, yeah.
And so I love that what I'm noticing in my life, and I see it here too, is that God will favor us when an opportunity presents itself. And when you don't take that opportunity, then you're just getting in your own way. And so being an early adopter of business is something that I want to master for the rest of my life. I did it with EXP. I came in when there was 5,000 agents. We're at 90,000. I met this fine young group right here, and I know it's just getting off the ground.
Yeah.
So don't ask me to get on a rocket and not save me a seat. So I'm on it, bro. I'm on it.
I love it, man.
Yes, sir.
It's the opportunities, dope. I love what you guys are doing. I love where it's projecting, right?
Mhm.
Being one of those early adopters, and I see it going global.
Yeah,
Right?
no,
It's a
yeah,
company that's going
yeah.
global and going across the nation. How many members? Like, what does that look like? Say someone's listening to this, or like,
So
what are they talking
first-
about? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first year, I call everybody a partner. Everybody's a partner.
Mhm.
I love that.
We onboarded about over 10,000 people. So 10,000 first year. Now that was with like a very slow moving product, which first year was like, I think all solar, right? For the
Yeah,
most part,
mostly
it was
all
our
solar.
focus. Now that we have other verticals that are going to go
Mhm.
international, I think we'll go 100,000 in the next 12 months. Easy.
Bro,
And the
that-
reason why
I-
is because I spent the better part of my career trying to recruit people from real estate and from other industries to come and do what I go. My business is better than yours. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, people don't want to start over, right?
Mhm.
We just collaborate, right? So we created like the toolbox you said, right? That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
It's just add more tools to the toolbox. So we're not trying to recruit people away from what they're already doing. They
Mhm.
spend years doing. We're just collaborating with them. And there's a mutual benefit. And it has to be a win-win, right?
Mm.
So we created a win-win. That's it. So now we're taking it around the world.
Notice how my boy just casually dropped 10K on there. It's just so humble. I love that, bro. It
Yeah.
says a lot about you.
Yeah.
That's I love that.
Yeah.
But dude, being able, a lot of credit to you, bro. Honestly,
Thank you.
a lot of
Yeah.
credit to the hard work and the dedication and the model. Being able to kind of see it, bro, and the fruit's there. So I love what you're doing. I love where we're all going to be headed and kind of growing. And as we kind of like begin to close, just some upcoming things too. I know Joseph, you got the event coming up. Or probably once this releases, this will kind of be over. But you got an event coming up here end of July. Talk a little bit about that event and what you kind of foresee coming up after that.
Yeah, two big events coming up
Yeah.
in our life. My wife Trisha and I are like running and gunning together in all these verticals.
Yeah.
We have a build. We call it Build 25. That's July 31st out of Disneyland.
Heck yeah.
We're gonna have probably 700 real estate professionals in one space. TED Talk speakers, keynote speakers, CEO, my brother Leo Pareja from EXP will be there, and it's just a pour in, bro. It literally is just a pour into agents in a struggling real estate market or a challenging one for that matter. We're taking agents that were struggling in production and taking them to the top 1%.
I love that.
Right. So it's an elevated experience. So we're excited about that. And then September the 5th.
Hey.
September the 5th,
Okay.
want to drop that too. My brother and Keith is coming in for a Man on Fire crusade in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And we're going to change lives, man. Yeah, we're going to
Love
change
that.
lives. We're going to perform some miracles, and
That's
we're gonna touch the hearts
cool.
and minds of people through Jesus Christ.
That's powerful.
Nice.
Yes,
That's
sir.
powerful, man. I'm gonna have to get with the wifey and
Mhm.
get that date because we got to be there for sure, man.
Oh yeah,
September
September 5th?
September
September
5th.
5th, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going down at the Dolby Theater.
Adobe Theater. Oh,
That's
Oh,
huge.
cool.
Dolby Theater, bro. It's gonna be big.
That'd
Yeah,
be dope.
it's
nice.
almost sold out. I think we got about 1,000 seats left.
Okay.
So yeah, stay tuned. If you guys need some
Yeah,
heat on
yeah,
that,
send
let me
me.
know.
Yeah,
Be
we'll
there,
put all the
for sure.
information down in the show notes and
Please.
and, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely spread the news on that for sure. You guys got anything too? Anything big that you guys want to let the people know? Events that you got coming up September, October.
Well, we have our 1 year anniversary coming up here.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Okay, cool.
So official 1 year, right?
Bro,
Um,
a year.
Wow.
yeah. It
A
went
year.
by a year.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
okay.
August of last year.
Dang.
Kobe Day.
Yeah.
That's
8/24.
Let's
That's
go.
right.
That's
Yeah, it
what's
was
up.
8/24. Yeah.
8/24.
That's damn.
Yeah,
we gotta
so-
do a party. We gotta do something big.
For sure. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit more off camera after that.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
You gotta have the
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
thing,
Once
right?
it's got all
Yeah.
the details.
We have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff coming right now. The first year was building out the infrastructure,
Yeah.
software, hiring the right people, all that stuff. But now we're about to make some noise. Now we're
Yeah.
gonna focus on the marketing, on the fun part of it.
Yeah.
So
That's right. We'll have to do another podcast of four of us
Absolutely.
and kind of chop it up for round two. We're running short on time, but
yeah.
before we do close as well, just want to invite everybody. Joseph's gonna be there speaking September 2nd, right? September 2nd in Chino Hills, California. We're gonna be doing the Wealth Builders event and very much taking this conversation but putting it out to the public. We're gonna have a bunch of entrepreneurs, wealth builders, people that are interested. I mean, we got social media panels, young professionals panels, wealth builders. We got a tax advisor. How important is it? Part of building wealth is understanding how much you keep. So that wire, I don't know where that wire was. Right? We were talking about that wire earlier, right? It's not about how much you make. Sometimes it's about how much you keep. And end of year tax planning is so incredibly important. We got a good buddy of mine that's going to be doing a tax planning session at the event, live for everybody, Q&As, all that good stuff. So anyways, want to invite everybody out to that. I'll put all the information down in the show notes below. But as we begin to close, any closing thoughts from you guys? Anything you guys want to share?
Man, it's just great to be around, mentors and leaders, and to be able to learn from everybody here.
Yeah.
I got to say is that once I finally surrendered my life to Jesus, that's when everything started completely shifting. That's where I give all the glory to, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here today.
Amen.
So, I gotta end it out like that for myself, because of that, this is where I'm at today. I'm meeting the people that I'm meeting, being in proximity with, you guys and others as well too. And man, just being able to, develop myself into a better leader.
Yeah.
Being able to, like you said, duplication, creating more leaders. And, I like that 5-step series. I'm going to have to get the recording for this.
Yeah.
The 5-step process there. Yeah. So, being able to elevate myself, and, I'm seeing it, with Wences, and, I'm learning from all the people that he's connecting the company with, not even just myself, just the company in its entirety. Because everybody in the company has pretty much access to all of Wences' people, but who takes advantage of it? Who's going to actually say, you know what, hey, our leaders in BYLD has done it before. Yeah. Like, there's reasons why there's leaders within the company. Like, why are they there? Just, pique that interest. Like, why are they there? Okay, well, let me find out, why they're here. Once you pique that,
that's good.
Then man. I know that, other people within the company are going to start, gravitating and leveling up as well too.
That's good, bro.
So good.
That's good, man.
How do you follow that? You go next.
I know, right? Yeah, bro. I think I would just like to close out by just extending an invitation, inviting whoever's watching this, whoever will watch it, wherever it lives, YouTube, everywhere in the atmosphere. If you watch a reel from this, whatever that looks like, is don't just sit there and let that information and everything that's been shared here just go to waste. Like, reach out. Like, people sometimes stay in their own boxes, even in industries, right? If you're a realtor, like, why not connect with Wences and see what's possible?
That's right.
For mentorship, or if you need some help in your financing life, right? Yeah. Reach out to my brother here. Like, reach out, connect, and that's how we can really help each other out. So I would just an open invitation for everybody to tap into us.
That's right. Tap in. Tap in. I love it.
Pablo, I think you're doing a great job with this. I think that more than anything, I think you're going to attract the right people. You're going to change a lot of lives. Like, I watched you from a couple of years ago, right? When you first started your journey, and now, and I'm like, man, you're moving fast. You're like 10 years, 15 years ahead of your competition. But your generation is going to need leaders like you and like Matt. So you got to keep this going.
Thank you, man.
Let's go.
Yeah. All glory to God, bro.
Yeah, proud of you, bro.
Man.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, we're going to keep doing this. We got more episodes to follow. Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Music, the whole nine, all the platforms out there. We appreciate you guys. Fellas, we'll do it again. Thank you.
For sure.
Do it.
All right.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.